Now in this video, I will walk you through a task list. I think it would be very useful to apply it for multi-projects, for instance. Let's say you have projects with 3 sets of tasks, and you know that maybe there is a dependency between them, or maybe you're just working on the 3 projects at the same time, and you want to keep track on how everything is going on one page. So you could use this. So it's a spreadsheet build with the idea that you do not want to spend too much time maintaining it. So it's very easy to build. It's there's not a lot of tricky formulas or the likes. Definitely no VB macros. I try to avoid them as much as possible. But I think you will find it useful. So put your 3 projects in there, start tracking them, and you can see where it takes you. Welcome to this tutorial. So we just do a black and white version to get us started, and after we can bring in the colors. And actually we're doing only one table to start with, and after we'll be duplicating it twice, or how many times you want actually. But I think once we've done one, doing others will be quite straightforward. Okay, so this is what the table looks like. So there is task name. I've put a who in brackets here because you might not want to have this, and you can just leave it blank if you don't want to put any name allocation. If it's all for you, for instance, if it's all task for yourself, you might not want this. Now the estimate, we'll see, you can put a number of days, but if it's just on and off switch, if you like, if it's just something that doesn't take time, so you just put 1 in the estimate, and then when done, you can put 1, and then left to do will be 0. Otherwise, you can just put proper estimate here, and as you progress, you will put the amount that has been done here. And left to do, that's something that is very easy to calculate. So you take the estimate, and you subtract what has been done, and that's give you what is left to be done. So I'm just going to input some task here, and that's it. So I've chosen 12. Why not? I like 12 as a number, but once again, you can put as many as you like. And at the bottom here, I just want to put a total. And so I'm just going to put more estimates here. And I just, yeah. So I will leave some tasks blank so we can see what we can do when the tasks are blank. Okay, so here it's a very simple total, the total of the estimate. That might become handy to know that. Total of what has been done. And the total of what is left to do. So I can just slide that across. Okay, so we have 12 rows, we have the total, and we have that. So it's a very simple table. If you want to put a resource here, you can. You can put John, Betty, or the likes. But the idea is, if you don't have any, as it's going to be a black background, if you want to remove them, then it will not be obvious that you don't have a field here. Like for instance, if I remove the grid lines, you don't know that there was supposed to be something supposed to be here. So what I will be doing is I'll be assuming that there is no resource allocation here. This cell here, I will put the topic of all those tasks, because that's the idea of having multiple tables, is that you can deal with multiple topics. It could be, you could even have one for work and one from home. I don't know how practical or how much you would want to do that, but just for this example here, I'm just going to put a work task, for instance. You know, when you work at home these days, why not? Those things happen that you have to do both at the same time. Okay, so I'm just going to leave a little bit of room on the top. So now I want to do 2 very simple charts. One will be task by task. I want to give an idea of what has been done for each task and what is left to be done. In order to do this, I don't want to have all the task name here, and that's the idea between giving this number here. So I just put a number from 1 to 12. In this instance, as I have named the task 1, task 10, it will be very easy to correlate. But if you have different task name, you'll be able to know by the task number how it fits on the chart. So here, for instance, I'm just going to select those, and I press the Control key, And I'm just going to take the task name as well. Press the Control key, and I select the two last columns here. And I do an insert, and I select the second of the today column here, the stacked columns. Now I want to make sure that what is done is at the bottom and what is to be done is at the top. I think this is more logical. Okay, so that's the case. I will be removing the shape outline. I will be removing the chart title. That's a personal preference. And then I will be clicking on those grids here on the lines, and I will be pressing delete. Be careful with this, otherwise you might delete the whole thing. So in this instance, what I've done is I've put the task here because they are small numbers and the likes. But what I recommend you do instead is you move from the task name to the task number if you have different names. So I think it will be easier for you to read. So it's just a matter of doing a little bit of formatting here. I'd like to have it format the shape fill. I'll just put no fill here. Okay, and that might just give a little bit more room. The chart's going to get crazy, so I'm just going to put it here. The next thing I want to do is I wanted to know how many tasks have been completed and how many tasks are outstanding, and I want to put it on the chart here on the left-hand side. Now I've created here a small table that we can hide later on. It will be to calculate the total. So how many tasks do we have in total? So I'm just going to count if any of those fields is greater than 0. It will tell me how many tasks I have. So I have 10 tasks. Not started. How can we know if something is not started? It's when there is 0 done. So I'm just going to actually copy that across. Count if here, but this time I'm going to count how many are equal to 0. Now in progress we will deduct that because it will be simpler for us to calculate the completed, which is how many of those have nothing left to do. So how many of those have nothing left to do equals 0. So we have 1. Not started 2, completed 1. Can we guess how many are in progress? Yes, by doing 10 minus 2 minus 1. So we are just doing the total number of tasks, and we deduct the not started and the completed, and that tells us how many are in progress. So I wanted to have them in this order because this way I can select those 6 cells. I do an insert, and I choose a pie chart that I like because I think it's good to have the not started here at the top right. And then you go clockwise, and here you have in progress, and the last one is completed. Okay, so same deal here. I'm just do some basic formatting. No fill for all this. I remove the chart title, and I remove the outline. Just minutes. So I remove it. Okay, and I just put that here. So it doesn't look like much now, but if that's enough, you can keep it this way and go your merry way. But I'd like to bring the dark mode, and then I'd like to do some improvements to this. Now, next step is I want to bring in the dark mode. Okay, so I just right click on normal here. I just click to modify. I go to format, and here I want the fill to be completely black. But I also need to have the font to be white, otherwise it's going to be very, very dark in there. So that will be for the basic. I think I'm going to keep the font as 11, I think, for the time being. So let's see. So that's not black, is it? I think I need to put something completely black in a fill here. Yeah, no, that's a dark blue. I wanted it black completely. Okay, done. So what I'll be doing now is I'll be actually choosing a theme, a color theme for this table here. I would like to have the purple for this, and everything will be around the color purple, different variation of tone. Now the first thing that I wanted to do, so not started, in progress, and completed, that I can hide it. So I just select the 2 rows and I go under data and I group it. So it's done, it's hidden. Now, okay, so I forgot to do the thing. So when you want to hide data that is used by a chart, you need to right click on the chart, you need to do select data, hidden or empty cells, and you have to select show data in hidden row or cells. Bang, bang. So now if I hide it, the chart stays. Okay, so what I wanted to do here is I wanted to put the work task business here. So I just want to say this is for work, for instance. I put back the dark here, and I'm going to start using my purple theme. So just in case you are not on this yet, I'm using the colors, the layout, the colors of the new office here. So I'm not using the 2013-22, I'm just using the latest one here, the office one. So this gives you purple. So I'm just going to select what I call the second one here of the purple. So this is the purple, is the second accent, second lightest. I'm going to select this and I'm just going to put it maybe in bold and caps. Next thing I want to do is I want to put some type of grids to that table here, but I just wanted to do the bottom one, actually top and border to get us started, but let's have a look at this. So here I'm just going to go back here. For the color, I want to select the 4th one this time. And I'm just going to do underneath, actually. I'm just going to do underneath. So I should have something here. Now I'm going to select all this and I do a format painter to paint it all. So that I don't know if it's obvious on the screen, but it gives you the feeling that there is a bit of transparency here and it is purple behind, but that's just a trick of the eye. So it's just black there. And now you can see that if you want to put resource here, you can. Or who's doing it, you can. But if you don't want to, you just can either merge those 2 cells to give you more room for the task name, or you can just leave it as is and just put that column a bit smaller. Okay, what else? So what I want to do is I want to have this. First of all, I think I need a square. As a square, I'm just going to give it very thick border. I'm just going to keep it black for this one. I'm just going to put black border like this. And that's it. But as a fill, I want to give it a very light. I'm going to try this one first. And obviously the font will have to be dark. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, I will leave the fine tuning for the end. Now for this, for the total, I'm going to go back to the purple for a change, and I'm going to use the 3rd one. And this way you can see the total this way. I might even put that in bold, just in case people don't understand it's a totals. And here I want to put a border again, and I want to select the 3rd one so it stands out a bit. And I just need to make sure that I click for the below here. Let's see. Yeah, that works. For me, that works. Hopefully it works for you too. So we've almost done this one. What is missing is a border here on the side. Should I include everything in that border? No, I don't think so. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to do a border, but just on the right-hand side this time. I'm going to take maybe the 4th one here. And what I want to do is to do only the right-hand side here. Oh, this is still the thick. so that's not going to work. Still the right hand side here. That's it. Got it? So that's it. So we are done with this. Bar some final changes towards the end if we want to. Now here we have to do the same. Done, left to do. So, and actually I've just selected those 10 because we just have those 10, but you know, if you had more, you select more, but you would have some tasks that, you know, some empty task here, so that might not be a pretty side. But it's still workable, it's still doable, it's up to you. Now, I want to have here the done here, so I think to be consistent, what is done, we want it to be actually deeper. So let's have a look. What is done, I'm just selecting the one at the bottom, and I want this one deep. So I'm just selecting the fourth one, and the one at the top, I'm just selecting the second one, and I'm just going to check how it works first. Could put the first one, but I'm going to stick to this one for the time being. Now I'm clicking on the axis and I put it a white color. And if you had different names here, then you could easily refer back to the number 8, and you would know them by then. I mean, you can still put the task, but I found it a bit too cluttered when you do this. So the amount of days on the right, so this one is coming across, the amount of days on the right, you can either remove them completely or you can just put them in white. I'm going to leave this one here. I know it doesn't work for the time being, but just the last thing, I could put the white here so people understand what we are talking about. Now for this one, for some reason by default it's put me some thick white borders on this. So I'm just going to right click, format data series, and I'm just going to do it's going to go here, and I just need to have a border. Just take a solid line, and I'm going to take something from the purple here around. And is this thickness okay? No, I'm just going to put a smaller, I think it was 1.5. I'm just going to put a smaller thickness. So here I want to be consistent. So in other words, what is not started should be in a very light purple here. What is in the middle should be something else, but what is at the end, what is completed, but there's only one here, I had it in deep. So I had it here. So in other words, what I need to do here is I need to find a color in between here. So what's between 2 and 4? Let's try with 3. Okay, so this way it's a little bit consistent. Okay. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to add the data label here. And I'm going to remove, oh no, I could leave this. There are two ways to do it. Either you leave this here, or what I can do here is I can click on the data labels, right click, and I put format data labels, and I add the category name. So here you have the category name. So I'm just going to show it to you this way. So I remove the legend, and here, as it's black as a background, I can just move that here, and this way they will get the message. So I'm just going to make sure that everything fits in. Completed 1, in progress 7, now started 2. Okay, so this can go back there, so I just can remove this. So now it's just a matter of putting it perfect. Spend a bit of time on this to make it perfect, because after it's going to be a matter of duplicating this. Okay, so once you've done one and you're happy with it, you can just a matter of duplicating it and applying the same formula here. So for instance, here just to copy, I do an insert copy cell, and here is still the challenge that you have is still selecting this, so you need to drag it across. You need to drag that across. Here the same, you need to duplicate this. So I'm just going to, no, actually it's actually duplicated it already. So you need to click on this and drag that across. All right. Now, there's something I wanted to mention is that before we change the colors is that it could be just on and off. Like for instance, you would put the estimate 1. And done, if you put 1, that means this task is completed. Done, done, done. You put 0, not completed. So in this case, it's more binary, obviously. I would put that just a bit lower, so it is not too much competing too much with this one. And then that shows that you have different type of tasks. And here, obviously, you could say, this is my home tasks. You need to do a little bit of fidgeting here. So another option, if you don't want to have to do all this every time, is you remove the category name here. You just leave those numbers, and then you rehabilitate the legend. So add chart element, legend. Where do you want it? At the bottom, thank you. So here, just click on it and put some white, and then that's your other option here. Anyway, fine-tuning required here. So you follow the same rule for all this. You just select it, and here you check, for instance, you you know that it's on the first one here. So if you want to go for green, for instance, you take the first one for green. Done. You select this. It was the third one, so you just take the third one for this one here. Same here, it's second one, you take the second one. Now this is it. So this is my last version. This is a never-ending process. I keep changing things. But what I've done is I removed the legend, and I've just went very minimalist. I just put the numbers here, and my assumption is that you would know from here that this is done is this one, and the left to do is this one. So the other, by deduction, is in progress. So that should be easily understood. I have, as mentioned here, I have an example here where it's either on or off. So you have everything there, and the tasks that are completed are in deep green, and the ones left to be done are just lighter. I also have created, obviously, this one in the center here. I thought it needed a bit of yellow, but I couldn't find really yellow here, so I made it really hard on myself. What I've done is I've selected this standard color here. Just let me show you just on the here. I've just selected this color here, and then what I've done is I go back on the more colors, and if I want something lighter, I apply this slide lighter. If I want something deeper, I go the other way around. So this is what I've done here. I've just wanted to have a bit of variety. If you're interested in getting exactly the same color as I have, let me know. I can give you the codes, and the codes you will need to put them here. More colors. I can give you those hex code here, and we need to put them here. Okay. Now, one thing to know about choosing specific colors, selecting colors yourself instead of selecting the colors that are in this area here, is that if you want to change the theme, those colors won't change. Let me demonstrate this. So I go to page layout color here, and if I slide my cursor there, you can see that I can select a lot of different themes, a lot of different, this one is the red orange, for instance. But if you look at the one in the center, this one doesn't change at all because I've given specific colors. I didn't play the game. So this one, for instance, if you want some very, so it's pretty close to this one actually. But anyway, so we have some blue, green, and the likes. So that's the only thing to know, but I'm happy with this. I wanted to stick with this. I can hide this. And it doesn't have to be, let's say if you realize that you only have 2 that you are interested, or even 1 actually, but you do data group and you just get rid of this one. And you say, that's all I have, clear, all good. So you can push it to the extreme and just add another one and you will have only 1 left. There's also ways to hide those zeros. If you really don't want to see the zeros here on left to do, because this column here has been calculated, so you just right click, you go under format cells, you go under number and you go into custom, put 0 in the first one and then you put 2 semicolons. There you go. So that also hide this one. Okay, left to do none. Okay, so that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was relatively simple. I'm just going to leave you with this.